Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and this is a sort of video I don't really do all that often, but considering what's just happened this weekend and all the stuff that came out of it, I figured I would talk about it, and that being RTX Austin, and my time there. So, I'm not gonna do this sort of thing. I'm not really going by script. I'm just trying to go by like memory and everything. I'll be honest, I was kind of terrified about going to Austin because, well, like, yeah, I've been there before, but it was like once 3 years ago, and that was the first time I'd ever traveled by myself. Of course, I choose a transatlantic flight. But yeah, it's just something that I'm not used to doing. So I was still like it was still scary. Is what I'm, what I'm trying to get. It's such a long way away, and I was like, going by myself without any friends or family. So yeah. Uh, Although that being said, the flight there was actually probably one of the best flights I've ever been on. Um, it didn't feel anywhere near as long as like 10.5 hours. I think that was because like I didn't even like, watch that much on the plane. I mean, I watched like a little bit of Finding Nemo because I saw it was playing and I haven't seen it in years. And it's a classic movie, so I thought, yeah, I'll watch that. I did not finish it. I was sitting next to somebody who was like, just across the aisle from me, who was also going to RTX, and it was his first time. I was just talking about how, uh, like, like the more we talked, I was just giving him some advice, like, hey, if there's anyone that you want to meet, turn on push notifications on like social media for people that you like to see, and just keep an eye on that because they might post, hey, I'm doing an impromptu signing sort of thing. Um, yeah, it's a little piece of advice I was given the last time I went to Austin, so I thought that might be handy. And we're just like talking about Ruby, other Steve Productions, just like laughing, joking. 6 hours into the flight, we never exchanged names. We realized that and just like burst out laughing out of it. And I found out his name was Jordan. Shout out to you, man, if you're watching this. Uh, yeah, we just like kept exchanging stories about like work, about things that we're fans of, and then we also met up with someone I was speaking to before we all boarded the plane, and that was a guy called Callum, and the three of us like met up after the plane landed. We got our bags, got through customs, and we all just got the same Uber to the convention center and walked to our respective like hotels, hostels, like wherever we were staying. I was staying at the Hilton, which is right next to the convention center, so that was pretty handy. Um, I also met with freelancer Amber. Once again, it was so nice seeing her again, and a group of friends that she introduced me to, and we were just like playing Mario Kart a lot. Um, Not one to brag, but I did win most of the time. Um, of which Amber called me the Matt of the group, and Achievement Hunter fans will understand why. Yeah, and of course, like for registration, I had to clarify that I've been fully vaccinated, get a little wristband, which I have cut off since getting home, that I had to wear the whole weekend to, clarify that I've been fully vaccinated, everything's good. Uh, got my pass, and it is right here. I got this platinum pass and a commemorative Ruby pass. Well, I say pass, it's just a badge. It doesn't actually get you in anywhere. It's just like, hey, I like this thing, basically. Um, You might notice a little sticker just here for 15% off. That's because I bought this pass back in 2020 before everything went to shit. And so my pass got delayed till 2021, and then got delayed again till this year. So because of that, myself and anyone who did buy their pass at that point was given a little sticker along with, if I can just get it, a free little piece of merch, and I went with the ruby button. Well, I mean, they're shoe charms, but I guess you could also just use them as like buttons. I remember someone who I will talk about a little later posting about that on their Twitter. So that was nice. Hey, it's free. So, and so like day goes on, and me, Amber, and our friends were all just like playing Cards Against Humanity, Liar's Dice in the Hilton lobby. It took me a long time to understand how Liar's Dice works, but eventually I just came up with this hilarious strategy that worked for another guy way better than it did me, because I employed it like later into the game. Where, so you shake your dice, put them on the table, peek under, have a look. I didn't peek under, I just didn't look. I was just like, alright, you say there's 2 threes? I say there's 3 fours. I don't even know. And like just acting smug the whole time, but the fact is that you know that person doesn't know, so for all you know, there could be that number like of dice under their cup. And so I lost the game where I employed it, but the next game I sat out, someone used that strategy and they won. So that felt really good. And it was just hilarious. We went out to this meat restaurant, and I'll be honest, that has ruined steak for me, because oh my god, I had the best steak ever there. And it's also where I found out one of Amber's friends, Jamie. If you are watching this, you are a fucking legend. And the reason why is because he paid for like everyone's meals, like whether it be like dinner, breakfast, except for one time, and he was annoyed at the person who did, because he puts in so much overtime at work, like leading up to this event, because he doesn't want like those around him to like worry about like paying for food and everything. It's one of the most like incredibly generous things I've ever heard, like just going down at a convention I've been to. So just like those in the comments, like, shout out to Jamie and just how much of a fucking legend he is. So, first day of RTX. Okay, very first thing I did was helping Amber into her like little legendary Among Us costume. Just the whole day I was with her, and just like people were calling us sus, or just like wanting to take a photo with her, like that sort of thing. And I gotta commemorate Amber for like staying in that thing as much as she did, like for the whole like the first 2 days, because that thing got hot. Like I helped her get out of it. Like it's just a little like zip hatch, and I open it and I can just feel a blast of hot air hit my face. So, you know, huge kudos to Amber for actually like sticking through that and everything. The Ruby panel happened, and something that sticks in my memory so well, and I wish I was getting a recording of this, was right at the start of the panel, Barbara was getting emotional because she genuinely missed like doing RTX like in person, seeing all the fans, just like being on the panel with everybody, and it was one of the first of many like just like heartwarming, like wholesome things ever. And I think Erin next to her was getting a little emotional too because like these people, they genuinely love like doing this con, like meeting people in the community and like everything. So actually like seeing that was like kind of indescribable. And of course they announced like a bunch of merch, including some exclusive Blake stuff, which was only on sale there, which I got none of. That was kind of infuriating. Anyway, not better. I guess I'll just have to wait for it to actually be available in the online store. But yeah, they announced that Ruby Volume 9 is going to be coming early 2023, so finally have a release date. That's great. Been a while since we've had any new Ruby stuff. Speaking of which, Ice Queendom was shown off. Admittedly, I'm waiting for the English dub, so I haven't really been watching any of it. I want to, though, because the animation is so freaking beautiful, and they showed off a little bit of the dub, and a scene that kind of like goes differently from Volume 1, but I understand they're just recapping and having like just trying to like put some scenes together and like cut some things down to, you know, save time and whatnot. I totally get it. And just this like effort that Miles had to make as Jean, and I know those in the recording booth had to hear him do that so many times, and they were just like laughing like for ages. What else? We finally got a release date for Ruby out. Well, I say release date, but more like a time when it will eventually come out, and that being fall of this year for Ruby Arrowfell. And I'm very excited for it. It's a Ruby video game that I got the chance to play. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So it's nice to know that it will be coming out soon. But the biggest shock was the Ruby feature film, which that's also why Volume 9 is delayed, because they were working on that at the same time. And it's a Ruby Justice League crossover. Now, they did address that it's not a adaptation of these comics where they fought Starro the Conqueror. So, I don't remember exactly if it was said if it's the Ruby versions of the Justice League or like the actual Justice League the Ruby is partnering up. I mean, I'm down for either, honestly. Though there are things in that comic that I have a few questions on, and just one thing in particular I really hope is not a thing in the movie. But yeah, I guess we'll see, and I'm excited nonetheless. I mean, it's a Ruby movie, and it's a crossover with the Justice League. That sounds cool. So I was wandering around like the show floor, like going to the Rooster Teeth store, checking out all the other stalls. I did want to buy like a decent amount of merch like while I was there, especially considering I had 15% off. So like, fuck it, might as well. And one of the first things I bought was the Yang Nandoroid. So that Blake one I have up there is gonna have some company, and who better? Oh yeah, another thing I got at the Rooster Teeth store, which at least I thought was quite helpful. I saw this in the RT store online, but thought, you know what, I'll hold off on that because, well, I'm going to America quite soon, so I'll probably just get it when I'm there. Was this adorable Blake coin purse. And I figured this would be handy for, well, just carrying American change. And it was. I got to separate American coins from British coins pretty easily with this. So it has a use, and it also has an adorable little Blake on it. So, all the more reason. And I also bought this pack of tea, Shadowfell Slumber. I had a whiff of the sample while I was there, so interested to try it. And I also realized that Shadowfell kind of sound like it fits with Blake. Totally not another reason why I bought it. But I also brought up to the guy selling these the tea after that. Kind of sounds like it fit with Yang. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it did sound like it could fit with Yang. And the guy selling it was just like, I did not think of that. Thank you. I'm gonna use that. So, if you use that as like extra marketing to sell this RTX, I hope it worked out for you. I haven't tried this yet, so that'll be interesting. And of course, the British guy goes to America and buys tea. And another thing I got was this Ruby air freshener with Blake's logo, because of course. And I don't know if this will show up on camera, but you can see a really faint image of Blake. I don't know if you can see it clear enough in that, but hey, we'll see. And there was a little thing on the Ruby panel that they were showing these off, and Aaron was asking, well, what does Blake smell like? Don't know if anyone on the panel heard that, but I was in the audience and I just shouted perfection. So, yeah. So, and also, if you were there and you heard that, that was me. Because, of course, it was. Oh, yeah, and, Erin said that she really wants to get on the soundtrack, which I am a big supporter of, because I've heard Aaron's ex singing voice, and it is so goddamn beautiful. I even left a little suggestion for her and Kara if the song is a Blake and Weiss duet, what it should be called. I will get into that later. But I also went to the Red vs. Blue panel that first day, because it said Back to Basics, and I was quite intrigued by that name. And turns out they're doing a couple things with Red vs. Blue, with the original cast. PSAs are coming back, and they're answering like community questions and whatnot in a new series called Q vs. A. Which, I'll admit, that's funny. And I don't actually have it with me, because I forgot where I put it, but I actually managed to get myself a free t-shirt, which unfortunately is a couple sizes too small for me. But I'll still keep it, because it's like something that was thrown out to me. Because they were doing like this Red vs. Blue trivia thing, where they would just, and if a fan got it right, they would throw them a piece of merch. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do any of the trivia, so they were just saying like, hey, what's one of your favorite quotes? One that hasn't already been said. And I just yelled, not my fault, Tucker did it. Because that is one of my favorite lines from Caboose, who is my favorite character. And it's the line that constantly makes me laugh whenever I rewatch the Red vs. Blue Death Battle. And that's something I commemorate Caboose's voice actor in that for, because the fact that that's one of Caboose's most iconic lines, and the delivery on it was so goddamn perfect, it just makes me laugh every time. So, huge kudos. And speaking of, I got to see a Red vs. Blue PSA, which is back to work. They said in that people you haven't seen for a while might look, sound, or even smell different. They do address that Caboose has a different voice actor. And I thought the way they did that was funny. I won't talk too much on it, because honestly the PSA is just great. So when it comes out, check it out. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, I tried this claw machine that they had in the store. I didn't get anything out of it, but there is a video of Aaron Zek getting something out of it.
Ooh, this is cool. That's as far back as I can go.
Far enough.
First try! I did it! I did it on the first try! Yeah.
And unfortunately, while I wasn't recording it, I was in the line with Amber. She won something while in the Among Us costume, so I guess you could say she completed that task. Yeah, we were making a lot of Among Us jokes, like, the whole weekend. Like, basically, anytime there was, like, a great or, like, event, she would just, like, run up to it and jump on it. So, I did submit a question for the Ruby panel, but it didn't get read out. But, after the Red vs. Blue panel, I ran into Eddie Rivas, the writing supervisor for Rooster Teeth. He works on Ruby, he works on Red vs. Blue, and a lot of stuff. I spoke to him about it, and he actually said that he saw my question and wanted to get to that, because he thought it was interesting, so that made me feel really good. And, I also spoke to Kerry Shawcross, the Ruby showrunner and voice of Neptune. I spoke to both of them about this question, which was, if you got the chance to make a what-if style show, like the one Marvel made, what scenarios would you be interested in exploring? And they thought that was a really interesting question, and they thought that the what-ifs that I at least try and do were pretty cool. I really need to update What If Blake Lost an Arm, and make one that I did talk to Eddie in particular about, and he thought was cool. So, I really extra motivated to get that one done. So yeah, that was a pretty cool first day of RTX. And as for day 2, the first thing I had, like, booked was the Death Battle panel, which of course I'm gonna go to. Me, Amber, and someone I met in 2019, Bryson, was there as well, and he had probably one of my favourite cosplays of the whole weekend. Like, it's up there with, like, the Grimzilla that was walking around, along with those two Spider-Men. And of course Amber's, like, friggin' Among Us. And that was... it was Kool-Aid Man Randy Savage. Which is amazing. So we're watching the Death Battle panel, and I was the last person to ask a question up on the microphone. So, yeah, no pressure of at least making it a good one. I was really torn between what I ended up asking and another question, which I asked at the signing, which I'll get to later.
Last question. Last one.
Hi guys, big fan of the show, flew all the way from England to be here.
Here's your last question.
Alright, now, doing what you do, you guys get a lot of, like, responses, whether they be comments, videos, just saying, like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever, to, that was BS! Mm-hmm. Are there any kind of responses from the community that really stand out to you and take the cake?
Oh, it's just incredible to see, like, the reaction videos and the fact that, like, there's like it's just like a whole subcategory on YouTube that is just like reacting to Death Battle, and it's like, that is so wild that our show has created shows. And it's so cool to see the enthusiasm, right? Like, even if people are like, oh, that's bullshit, it's still just like sometimes that's the best kind. Yeah, but that's really cool. And one thing too is, like, you know, I mean, there's obviously, like, a lot of hate that we'll get because, like, somebody's favorite character has to die. And it's like, shout out, like, we love watching the community. Like, we've intentionally not engaged with that stuff, right? But our community does. Like, so somebody will say something like, blah, 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 this was wrong, blah, 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 and like somebody from the community will be like, well, actually, in this video that you just watched, at this time, they said this is why. And I'm just like, yes, my champion.
Alright, so we do need to
Yeah, after that, the cast and crew of Death Battle were just, like, you know, just hanging around, just, like, meeting fans and whatnot, and, I learned something really kind of scary, but also, incredible. So, Ben Singer, the showrunner and creator of Death Battle, along with the voice of Wiz, he recognized me. Not just because we met back in 2019 at the last RTX, but from YouTube. So that kind of that made me all kinds of spooked. But It was to do with a particular episode. Gee, I wonder which one. He told me something that I am never, ever gonna forget. And it was about how, like, yeah, he knows that there's that chunk of the Death Battle fanbase that really hates it whenever a Rooster Teeth character is involved. And they'll, like, complain that, oh, it's, like, RT bias, that this is the worst episode of the season, and all that. I was even, like, just don't get me started on that, because I can't stand it either. But, no, he was saying that someone, like, just stepping up and saying that this is a fantastic episode and getting really, like, enthusiastic and passionate about these characters, this matchup. It's something that meant a lot to him. And won't lie, I was getting kind of close to tearing up because being told that by Ben was just, like, so, like, freakishly heartwarming, and whatever the soul equivalent of heartwarming is, I've been trying to think of that phrase for ages, but I've got nothing. But it was one of the most incredible things I've ever been told. So I'm going to remember that for a long-ass time. Thank you so much, Ben Singer. Let's see, I also spoke to Liam Swan, one of the writers, directors, and researchers for Death Battle. He is fucking tool. Like, seriously. Like, I'm about here, he's like, here. Roughly. Like, Jesus. But I also brought back a little tangent that I remember from a little thing he used to do back in the day called Discussing Death Battle. Unfortunately, those episodes just aren't on YouTube anymore. But I remember this tangent so well, and it was this whole thing about why didn't Hogwarts just hire a sniper to take care of Voldemort? And I brought that up, and he got so, like, into it, it's just like, it would have worked! But I was just saying, like, have you ever tried getting a gun in the UK? It's not easy. And, of course he, like, understood, but retorted, like, they're wizards, and I even added to that by saying they could just easily apparate to America, get one, and then apparate back. Or just, like, something. Like, I will admit, it could have worked, but I'm not gonna get into, like, Harry Potter stuff. I at least thought that tangent was hilarious. It's, like, it's his equivalent of, Chad getting super angry about Tony the Tiger versus Captain Crunch. If you don't watch Death Battlecast and want to hear more about that, I highly recommend looking it up because that episode was hilarious. But another really, like, big shock that I did not expect was, I ran into, DJ Tiki, who, is a researcher for Death Battle, and just so happened to be the head researcher for one of these two. He was the head researcher for Blake, and is the reason that Yang was listed under Blake's likes, which made the Ruby fanbase kind of lose their minds, which I thought was funny. So that was incredible. I had no idea he was going to be there, and I really hoped that I would get to meet him, because he worked on, like, that episode, of course. But I also met Speedy, who I have often played Among Us with. And, man, it feels weird that, like, me and him have met each other now. I've only just realized I didn't actually get a picture, which I'm now starting to kick myself over. Oh well, I mean, it was cool just, like, meeting everybody again, and some for the first time. After that, I heard that there was... Oh! But probably the single biggest shock. I met a couple fans. Not Death Battle fans. Well, yeah, Death Battle fans, because it was a Death Battle panel. But, fans of my freaking channel. What? It's, something I really didn't expect. And, honestly, I never really, like, expect it, because I don't really consider myself, like, that, like, big. Especially in comparison to, like, Amber, who got recognized, quite frequently. But, yeah, I met one fan who was like wanting to talk to me about some Ruby What If stuff. So that was pretty cool. And another guy who was dressed as Torchwick, but that is something I'll never get used to. I mean, compared to hearing the Ben Singer watches me, that's well, actually, those two happen like so close to each other. It was really like a whole new experience for me. I mean, I've met like people who have watched my channel before, but like it's something that I'm never like used to. Yeah, I also met Meatloaf Man on the shop floor, who's one of the people behind Battle Royale, Crossover X. I also did an Bender podcast with him back in the day for episode 100. So it was good catching up with him again. Shout out to you, dude. Hope you had a good RTX. And I also waited in line for Ruby Arrowfell's demo, which was only playable for Saturday. So I really had to make sure I played it. Unfortunately, it was getting close to 2:30. And that's when my signing with Aaron Zek and Kara Eberly was. So I had to make a very difficult decision. I ultimately just ditched the line and went to the signing, which I'm happy I did, because if I had missed that one, I would have been so annoyed with myself. But yeah, I got to meet Aaron Zek and Kara Eberly once again, and if I can just show off. I didn't ask Kara to sign this for reasons, but I did ask something else of her, which I might not talk about in this video, but let's just say there's someone that... let's just say it was for someone else. And I asked Aaron to sign this. A little print I made of Blake vs. Mikasa. You got the thumbnails for the previews, the thumbnail of the fight, the one I prefer, and various shots of the animation, all leading to that final shot with that smirk that just screams, "Bring it, bitch." And I absolutely love it. I was really happy that Aaron was the first person to sign it. It meant quite a bit to me. I'll talk about a few more of those signatures in a bit. Aaron had probably the funniest reaction to seeing that. Here's the clip.
Coming across from England to ask something very important from both of you.
Okay.
Aaron, I got this printed specifically for you to sign.
That's too cool. Oh god, wait, don't I die? Wait, no, I win!
Yeah, you won.
No, you win.
You exploded her joy.
Yes!
See, Aaron Zek is just one of my favorite people. Like, and it's so weird to think because, like, sometimes she's so much like Blake, but sometimes nothing like her, to the point where it's just like, it's surreal is all I can really say. But she's weird and I love her. And before I left the signing, and of course I got everything, I told the girls how great they are, I brought up the Weiss-Blake duet idea for the soundtrack. That being, have the song be called Best Girls. They were so down for that idea. I don't know how likely that song is to happen, but hey, if what sounds like a Blake and Crow duet can happen, I don't see why Blake and Weiss can't. But seriously, Kruby, put Aaron Zek on the soundtrack. She, like, her voice is so goddamn beautiful. Like, do it. Actually, you know what? No, here's a better clip. Do it. Alright, so that happened. I went back to the line for Ruby Arrowfell, which is where I met DJ Tiki once again. I asked him to sign this. You can see his signature there. And there's Aaron's. They signed that on the same day. It was really good. And I seriously had no idea who was going to be there. So meeting him there and actually getting recognized by him was really freaking insane. But yeah, I was really happy to see him there and get the signature and thank him for working on the episode, of course. And so that was happening in the line for Ruby Arrowfell. I got there just in time after the signing. The Guardian said that they were only letting 2 more people in the line, and then that's it for the rest of the day. So I consider myself quite lucky that I got in when I did. I played it. The game is really, really fun so far. Keep in mind, that's just a demo. And I am looking forward to when that comes out. And I can probably talk about this. Myself and Max a Few Trades will be doing a Let's Play in that game. Take a wild guess who we're most likely going to be playing as for a majority. But it should be noted you can't play through everything with just one character. You do need to switch between them for various puzzles and other platforming stuff. So, yeah, I can't play all the way through the game with just Blake and Blake alone. So, yeah, that's a game I'm really looking forward to playing. Can't wait for it to come out. And, that is RTX Day 2, and then there was the Rave, which, man, that was, it was really loud, and basically, I went there with Amber again, and was just, having to borderline shout whenever we, spoke. And there was a song where everyone was just, jumping. I kind of, effed my knee up. And it still hurts, even now. During the rave, when they were playing music, they were also playing shots from, because it was hosted by the Death Battle crew, and it was to celebrate them reaching 5 million subs, which, congratulations, guys. They were showing death battles and, other things that they've made, along with the music. And, I will list those off. Those are Scarlet Witch vs. Zatanna, Vegeta vs. 4, Magneto vs. Tetsuo, Hulk vs. Broly, Harley Quinn vs. Jinx, Poe vs. Iron Fist, Blake vs. Mikasa, hell yes, Stephen vs. Star, Dio vs. Alucard, Yoda vs. King Mickey, Macho Man vs. Kool-Aid Man, Tanjiro vs. Jonathan, Omni-Man vs. Homelander, Hercules vs. Sun Wukong, Wonder Woman vs. She-Ra, and Goro vs. Machamp. At least, those are the ones I listed and or remember. But they also played the Batman Death Race, the Living Cars Death Race, the Death Race season finale. So people at the rave got to see Mario flipping off Captain Falcon, which is just funny. The Lucario vs. Blaziken DBX, and the Goomba vs. Koopa 2 DBX. So, whole lot of stuff playing, and I should be playing the video I shot of the rave. This was just before I left. Totally a coincidence that that particular episode just so happens to be playing. So, day 3. The very first thing I did was go to the Death Battle signing, which is where I got to ask the other question I was really tempted to ask at the Death Battle panel. That being, you know what, just here's the clip.
So, so in Blake vs. Mikasa, when talking about Gamble Shroud, I have to ask, why didn't Boomstick say, now that's a katana?
Why didn't Boomstick?
Yeah, Ted. I don't know.
Is it a reference?
Look, okay, I didn't write it, but I do change a lot of shit.
You change a lot of my lines too, because they're too gross.
Yeah, it was awesome, seeing them. Also, where Chad told me that he watches my videos too, so all the more spooky. But yeah, everyone there also signed this print. Ben, Chad, Billy, who drew a little bee with ringmaster glasses. Liam and Sam Mitchell also signed this. But it was great seeing everyone again, and just finding out that the team actually watch and just appreciate my videos, or just reactors in general. is honestly kind of insane, but in the best possible way, don't get me wrong. Now, someone else I was really happy to meet at RTX was AG Non-Search. For those who might not know, she's the artist behind my profile pic and that Blake vs. Mikasa comic that I had commissioned. Or if not, then you might have seen like some of her like doodle comics and whatnot. I would highly recommend checking them out. They're pretty funny. Or just damn right cute. Although, see, both myself and Amber ended up meeting her on the Sunday, which was the last day of the con. And I actually did spot her like Friday and Saturday, but I couldn't actually go and talk to her. Because Friday, myself and Amber were in the queue for the claw machine in the store. And we were almost at the front of the queue, so we couldn't exactly just like leave and whatnot. So we thought, you know what, we'll do this, like, go find her. And we looked around only to find out she'd left. So dang. For okay, try tomorrow. The only time I ever actually like saw her was when I was in the queue for the Aaron and Kara signing. But yeah, I was waiting in that queue, so I didn't get a chance to talk to her then either. I believe I saw her just like bring a couple bottles of Diet Coke behind the curtains because like she and Aaron at least are good friends, so it's probably just doing her a solid. And exact same situation, but Sunday, thankfully, able to find her. I thanked her again for the commissions that she done. I took a photo with her, and it was just lovely to actually meet her. Kind of a shame that she didn't actually get to see Amber in the Among Us costume, but oh well. Like, if Amber ends up doing that again, hey, maybe next time. I also went back to the store and got a couple more things, like this Ruby Switch case, which has like chibi versions of all the girls and why. And it's cute. I also got this, I haven't taken it out of the plastic yet, but this cool bag with a whole bunch of Zwei's on it. So that'll come in handy if I ever take like food or drinks anywhere and need to keep them cool. I was briefly at a Cards Against Humanity panel, Cards Against Cards, I believe it was called, because Bryson invited me to it. I had to leave a little early because I got a message from Amber saying that she was leaving and I wanted to at least have a chance at saying goodbye. Hopefully it won't be another 3 years before we can like meet up again. So it was really great seeing you that weekend, Amber. I hope you had as great a time as I did, if not more. And for pretty much the rest of the day, I was kind of just wandering around until the event was shutting, during which I saw something I did not expect, which was Michael and I believe it was Jeremy, just in their old man masks and just like fighting with Achievement Hunter umbrellas. I didn't start recording it until after they went outside, which I should hopefully be playing here. And it was a sight you don't ever expect to see. So that was all sorts of weird and kind of even more insane. When they went out, like, okay, so how RTX works is you go in through specific entry points. You got to go through metal detectors, security. You know, they're keeping everybody at this con safe. When Michael and Jeremy took their fight outside, they tried to go back in. Security said no, and was just like really authoritative. Like, you go to these specific entry points, and that just made me think, oh damn, security at RTX does not fuck around. Which honestly kind of made me feel even safer. It doesn't even matter if you're a Steve employee or a special guest. Like, security put their foot down. Which is something I gotta commend them for. Oh, and something I forgot to even mention. After I got everyone to sign my Blake vs. Mikasa print, that was something I knew I wanted to get done, like, before I went to RTX. So, I made absolutely sure I did it, and it was good. I saw there was a gong from the Achievement Hunter show, Challenge Accepted. They take a challenge from the community through certain video games, and if they complete said challenge, they smack the gong. I decided I might as well do the same thing. I just didn't have something to hit the gong with. So what did I do? I punched it. That hurt for a little bit, but honestly my hand is like way better now. Like it's totally fine. And that was after I kind of messed my knee up during the rave. My knee still hurts, my hand is fine. So, yeah. And, honestly, it was just kind of hilarious after I did it. I posted, just checked out the gong, little tip, don't punch it, along with a picture of my hand just after I did it. And the amount of replies I got, even a couple from, like, Amber and Max, who were just like, why would you do that? And I'm just like, well, I completed a challenge I set out for myself. I didn't have anything to hit the gong with. And it's something I honestly like, look forward to telling, like, family and friends. They're just like, hey, how was your holiday? I punched the gong. Like, if nothing else, it just makes a funny story. So yeah, that was before the whole, like, Michael and Jeremy thing. I just kind of forgot to bring it up. I'm not going through, like, scripts or, like, PowerPoint. This is all from memory. I also briefly saw Fiona. We didn't talk too much, but we had a fist bump. I was just, like, saying, hey, and she was like, yeah, what's up? And just... So that was nice. I also ran into Xiaolong Media, as she's known on YouTube. Well, as they are known on YouTube. Also, Scottish Yang on their Patreon. So it was nice seeing those two again. We chatted a little bit, because like, we met before at like, the last RTX and MCM London not too long ago. So, yeah, it was nice catching up, chatting about like everything we've been doing. So, that was cool. And that's how I found out that there was an impromptu signing by Barbara Dunkelman. And I freaking love Barbara. She's one of my favorite people at Rooster Teeth. So I thought getting a signing from her will be like the perfect way to end RTX. There's a couple other things I did do, which I only just realized I didn't bring up. But I was just thinking that would be the best way to end RTX. And I showed my pass off before, but you might notice that is her signature on it. It's also the second time I've been to an RTX where she is on my pass, and I've had specifically her sign it. My first one was RTX London, where she had a crown and all sorts, because, you know, all hail the pun queen. So yeah, that was incredible meeting Barbara again. And, okay, we've met like a few times. She told me that I look really familiar. So, hey, I'm leaving somewhat of an impression, and that made me very happy. Now, these last two things do kind of, like, tie into each other. I ran into Jordan again, who told me that him and Callum... actually, wait, I should say Callum is the one who recorded that video of me punching a gong. And, so whenever I ran into the two of them, they were talking about how, like, those two met up, like, very, very frequently at the con. Not by planning it, but just, like, one was going to a specific area, that one was also, the other was also there, or just leaving it. And it happened so freaking often, it was, like, getting a little weird. But I say it just means, hey, those two were just meant to be friends. And, Jordan, Callum, if you're watching, I hope you two had a great RTX, and enjoyed the remainder of your time in Austin. But while I was talking to Jordan, this is also going to tie into one of the last things, because I did feel bad. A mother and son like walked up to us, and she asked if my pass had Blake on it, which it doesn't. And it was because her son, who was with her, freaking loves Blake, and she was just trying to get something with Blake on it for him. Although she had another son who freaking loves Weiss, and Jordan was able to get a plus pass which had Weiss on it. It wasn't the one he bought, it was just so he bought a weekend pass, but he saw a post saying that hey, like, this person I'm going with couldn't make it, does anyone want their plus pass? He waited a while to, be polite, and eventually like replied, reached out to him, just like, yeah, I'll take it. And he didn't get any of the perks from it, I don't think. But he just liked having it because he really likes Weiss. Also likes White Rose. So, hey, getting Ruby and Weiss, that was really good. And given the fact that was his first RTX, damn, that's gonna make it memorable. But she asked him if he'd be willing to sell it. Wasn't feeling up for that because, as I said, loves Weiss, and given the fact that it happened during his first RTX, it means a lot of like sentimental value to him. I did give her a piece of advice, that being because okay, this is something that did like annoy me a little bit, but Ruby is on the weekend pass, which is red. Weiss is on the plus pass, which is light blue, so it fits. And I thought, okay, so weekend plus, and there's 2 more above that. So Blake's got to be platinum, which just so happens to be purple, and Yang's got to be ultra, which just so happened to be gold. Not the case, as you can see from my platinum pass. Also, ultra was Washington from Red vs. Blue. So that was a little weird. I did eventually find out that Yang is the Sunday pass. But Blake is the exhibitor pass, which is also purple. The same shade as the platinum. But yeah, I gave her a piece of advice, just like, hey, it's exhibitor pass. Like, if you chat to someone who's like selling something, maybe you might be able to like work something out with them. And so the reason I say that is because, like, on the Friday of RTX, when I found this out, I met someone like who was selling dice at the event, Anthony. And he said that when the con is over, I could have his. And here it is. It's fake. And, sorry, it's just trying to, like, find the words, because, honestly, just having a pass from RTX, which, is Blake. It's also purple, which, fits, to a T. It's, something that I'm going to, hold, quite dear to me. And, huge thank you to Anthony for, giving me this one. He actually did say that he had an extra that he totally would have given to me, like, way sooner. Problem was, he went and lost his original, so this was the, extra. So, and that's a big reason I was waiting until the event was going to close, because I wanted to make sure I left it as late as possible, so, there was, like, no issue. So I really, really freaking appreciated that, and, honestly, that and meeting Barbara was just a phenomenal way of ending RTX. Though I say that, there were a few, like, very, very, very terrifying near misses that I had. When which I've been waiting until now to talk about. So, the near misses I had at RTX that were quite terrifying. The first one being, I almost left my passport on the plane. So, the reason I forgot it is because, like, when I was having food, I didn't have that much room, like, in front of me, because the person in front of me didn't move their freaking seat forward. And so my arm, like, knocked my drink, and it fell into my lap. The pocket where I had my passport, so I took it out, put it in the seat pocket in front of me, so, you know, it didn't get, like, wet and ruined. I was halfway off the plane, and I realized I didn't have it. So I had to wait in the aisle for everyone to, like, walk off the plane, just so I can, like, book it down and grab it. Which, thankfully, I did. So, that was a thing. And, I mentioned I was out with Amber, Jamie, and a bunch of people at a super nice meat restaurant, where now basically steak here is ruined for me. Because that one was so goddamn good. I went with Amber and a girl I met and a girl that I was introduced to called Bree. Shout out to you, Fandom Reactions. And, we went to Target, and it was there I realized I didn't have my wallet. Because it fell out of my bag at the restaurant. So we had to walk all the way back. Thankfully, Bree called the restaurant just to make sure that it was still there and all that. Thankfully, though, because I keep my actual cards, like, separate, I don't keep them in my wallet. I have a specific case for it. Anyone who did steal my, if anyone did steal my wallet while I was out there, honestly, that it'd be pretty fucking useless. Aside from just the dollars that were in there, they'd probably just, like, ditch the rest, because they'd open it up and be like, what the fuck is a Nectar card? Yeah, I also had a near miss with the actual card case, because one day when I went to get lunch, and I was paying by card, I reached for my pocket where I usually kept it. It wasn't in there. Had a bit of a panic, only to realize it was in my bag. So, yeah, that was some fun, but hey, I can look back on those and laugh. Because it all worked out in the end, and I still, like, have everything that I took. I remembered everything that I bought. So, it's all good. And, remember how I said the flight there wasn't that bad? The flight back, not so great. Because I got to the airport more than 2 hours before my flight, which, you know, that's the rule. Get there 2 hours before the flight. There we go. Check-in took forever. Like, I want to give the benefit of the doubt, like, maybe it was tech issues, because I heard one of the people behind the desk saying, like, oh, it's just giving me this message again, and there might have been issues, I get that, but sometimes it were just serving some people, like, ahead of me, that felt like it was, like way too long. Like, I got there, I was just like, okay, here's my passport, there's my bag on the scale, it's below the allowance, which is good, and, alright, here's your boarding pass, all set, sorted. So, I don't know what was going on with some of the people ahead of me. Like, there were people in line that said they had waited there for 3 hours. So, like, the longer and longer it took, I was actually starting to get paranoid I was going to miss the flight and just be stuck in America for who knows how much longer. I mean, it was the 4th of July and I'm British, so probably not a good idea for me to still be there. I was making that joke too many times that weekend, but hey, I can make that joke. But yeah, when I go through security, to give you an idea on how long check-in was taking, I got through security, like, no problem, really quick. My boarding pass said boarding at 17:40. I look at my phone and it says the time is 17:37. My knee wasn't good, and you're not allowed to run in airports, so I had to walk as fast as I could to my gate, because it was all the way down at the end. But, I mean, thankfully, given that I'm recording this video, and even, like, the Boba Fett vs. Predator reaction. Like, I made it back. I tried to sleep on the flight, but couldn't really, because, fun fact, trying to sleep while your ass is sore from sitting down for so long, it's not easy. But, yeah, I got back, did some stuff, had a nap, and everything is pretty much good now. And honestly, like, the weekend was so great that even just, like, the bad check-in at the Austin airport wasn't nowhere near enough for that to ruin the trip for me. I am going to freaking put this somewhere and display it with pride. Cherish the hell out of this pass, and just remember how great that weekend was. Like, for a long time. Hopefully it won't be another 3 years before I get to go to RTX again. And if you saw me while I was out there, thank you. And one thing I only just realized I didn't get to talk about was, while I was just waiting in the Hilton for my Uber, I was talking to Vincent, who showed me his YouTube channel. I'm just going to pull it up right here. Siloed V. We talked for a little bit. He actually recognized just my Twitter account from a lot, and he'd seen the Blake vs. Mikasa artwork that Max Few Trades made for me, and we shared an Uber to the airport together. I hope you had a safe trip back to Canada, dude. And yeah, RTX Austin was a phenomenal time. If you were there, I hope you had a good time as well. And like I said, hopefully it won't be another 3 years. And hopefully things will be even better by then. So yeah, this isn't something I do this isn't something I do often. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed just listening to me ramble about RTX and how great of a time it was, and also how scary some things were. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up because I've got to go to work soon. So, yeah. Great time at RTX 2022. Here's hoping I can go to 2023. And, yeah. Here's hoping everything's good. So, thank you for watching, all that stuff, and given that I got this, had a great time with Aaron Zek, and got this, here's my Blake outro. Bye.
This is Blake Belladonna with Your Only Mate saying like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.